Okay, so in this lesson, we're going to look at multiplying two binomials together. And the purpose of this lesson is to remind you about the FOIL method and when you can use the FOIL method. So we'll talk about the acronym in a little while, but F stands for first. This is outer, inner, and then last. And you're going to see this in a little while. But so here I'm multiplying two binomials together. And in this first example, we're going to do the same way we did in the previous lesson. So I'm going to use the distributive property. So I have two terms here, and then I'm going to multiply each of those terms by this second polynomial. And I have 2x times this polynomial, and then 3 times this polynomial. And we're going to use that outcome to talk about FOIL. Okay, so I get 2x times x, right? So 2x times x. Oops, sorry. Let me go ahead and redo this. So I get 2x times that second polynomial plus 3 times that second polynomial. Okay? That's from a previous lesson, the last lesson we looked at. And then we're going to distribute. So I get 2x times x plus 2x times a negative 5. Okay? And then let's go ahead and distribute this. We get plus 3 times x and then plus 3 times a negative 5. Okay? So 2x times x and then 2x times a negative 5. 3 times x, and then 3x times a negative 5. All right, now I want you to notice, so it's this. Okay, so notice I have four products here. This product, this product, this product, this product. What I want you to think about is this. When I used that idea of the distributive property here, I want you to think about what you have. I'm going to rewrite this over. 2x plus 3 times x minus 5. I just rewrote this over. So you see this 2x and this x here? That 2x came from this first term in that binomial, and that x came from that first term in that second binomial. You can see it. 2x, and then this is that first term in the second binomial, right? So first times first. That means f. That's that f here. So this is your f. So first times first is first. Is this product right here. Now look at that next term. This times this is this, right? This times this. So when I draw my arrow here, that's this. So that's going to be called the outer. So this is your outer. So the terms on the outside. That's what we mean, the terms on the outside of this expression. You look at the next one. Next one, you have 3 times x. So that's this right here. That's the terms on the inside. So we'll call that I, inside, the inner terms. So FOI, and then obviously you know that's going to be your last. And then if you look at 3 times negative 5, that's the last terms of each binomial. Last. So 3 times the negative 5. Okay? So when you use the distributive property, in essence, you're actually using the idea of that FOIL method, FOIL. You're taking the first term, multiplying together, taking the outer term, the inner, and the last. All right? So this will be the last here. But keep in mind, though, that the FOIL method only applies if you have two binomials. It only applies if you have a binomial times a binomial. If this is a trinomial or another polynomial, you're going to have to use the distributive property this way. All right? And so let's go ahead and finish this off. So 2x times x is 2x squared. 2x times a negative 5 is a negative 10x. 3 times x is 3x. And then 3 times a negative 5 is a negative 15. Combining like terms, I get 2x squared. Negative 10x plus 3x is a negative 7x. And then minus 15. Okay? All right, let's look at the next example. In the next example, we're going to use the FOIL method. So here's number 2. So number 2, let's suppose we have 4x minus 2 times 3x plus 4. Okay, so two binomials. Since I'm multiplying two binomials, I can use the FOIL method. So first times first, right? So 4x times 3x, that's what I mean. 4x times 3x. So that's your first. So what is 4x times 3x? Well, 4x times 3x is 12x squared. So that's your first. Then you're going to do the outer terms, the terms on the outside. All right, so remember, FOIL. First, outer, inner, and then last. Okay? First, outer, inner, and last. So here's my first, and then here's my outer. So in my outer, I have plus 4x times 4. And 4x times 4 is 16x. Your inner, negative 2 times 3x, plus a negative 2 times, oops, sorry, I wrote in the wrong place, plus a negative 2 times 3x. And a negative 2 times 3x is a negative 6x. And then the last, a negative 2 times 4, negative 2 times 4, remember last are the last terms of each binomial. So this is the last term, this is the last term, negative 2 times 4, negative 2 times 4, which is a negative 8. Okay, so now notice I have 4 terms here. These are like terms right here, 16x and a negative 6x. So combining like terms, I get 12x squared. 16x and a negative 6x is a positive 10x, and then minus 8. And there's the answer. Okay, it's very easy. It's not a difficult process. Okay, let's do this one. So number 3, let's suppose we had 2x minus 4y times x plus 3y. So let's suppose we had that. So 2x minus 4y times x plus 3y. So using the FOIL, because I have 2 binomials being multiplied together, so FOIL, right, first, outer, inner, last. So the first means you take each first term of each binomial, you multiply them together. So that's 2x times x. So that's your first. And so that becomes 2x times x is 2x squared. So that's your first. The outer, you multiply those together. So plus 2x times 3y. But when I multiply that together, 2 times 3 is 6, x times y is xy. So I get plus 6xy. The inside terms, the terms on the inside, you have plus a negative 4y times x. So a negative 4y times x is a negative 4xy. And then the last, so that's your inner and that was your outer. The last terms of each binomial, a negative 4y times 3y. So negative 4 times 3 is a negative 12, and then y times y is y squared. Now notice these are like terms here. See xy, xy. You have positive 6 here, a negative 4 here. 6 and a negative 4 is a positive 2. So you get 2x squared plus 2xy minus 12y squared. And that's it. There's your answer. Okay? All right, let's look at another one. So this would be number 4. So suppose in number 4, I have this for number 4. All right, suppose in number 4 we have x squared minus 3 times x minus 4. That's x minus 4. So I have these 2 binomials, so I can use the FOIL method because I'm multiplying 2 binomials together. So first, outer, inner, last. So first means you take the first term of each binomial. So there's the first and there's the first. So I get x squared times x, which I know is x cubed. So that's your first. The outer, terms on the outside. So the terms on the outside is x squared, so plus x squared, times a negative 4. Okay? So x squared times a negative 4 is a negative 4x squared, just like that. Now the inner, terms on the inside, a negative 3 times x. So you get plus a negative 3 times x, which is a negative 3x, right? And then the last terms, the terms on the last terms of each binomial. So I get plus a negative 3 times a negative 4, which is a positive 12. All right, now notice though, in what we have here, there are no like terms, so there's your answer. You cannot combine anything. Okay, so all of these variables have different exponents, every term. Okay, so that's number 4. So it's not difficult, right? A fairly easy process, not difficult at all. All right, let's look at this. Suppose we had this example. Let's do one more with this. So let's suppose we had number 5. We have 3xy minus 2 squared. 3xy minus 2 squared. Okay? So just like in a previous lesson, I can think of this, see how this binomial raised to the second power. So that exponent 2 tells me to multiply this by itself twice. So I can rewrite this as 3xy minus 2 times 3xy minus 2, right? And so notice I have two binomials being multiplied together, so I can still use the FOIL method if I want to. So first times first. So 3xy times 3xy, right? There's your first. That's a first. The outer, terms on the outside, you have plus 3xy times a negative 2. Then the terms on the inside, plus a negative 2 times 3xy. And then plus, that's the inside ones, that's the outer. And then the last terms of each binomial, negative 2 times negative 2 plus a negative 2 times a negative 2. Okay, first, outer, inner, and then last. Okay, let's go ahead and multiply this out. 3 times 3 is 9. X times x is x squared. Y times y is y squared. So this product is this. Over here, 3 times a negative 2 is a negative 6. So you're going to be subtracting 6, xy. Over here, negative 2 times 3 is a negative 6. So negative 2 times 3xy is a negative 6xy. Remember in a previous lesson we said that when we square a binomial, these terms right here will be exactly the same, and they are. And then notice the next one, a negative 2 times a negative 2, that's a negative 2, is a positive 4. And so when I combine these, your final answer is 9x squared y squared minus 12, a negative 6, a negative 6, a negative 12, xy plus 4. Okay? And that's it. So that is using the FOIL method. So that's, remember though, the FOIL method only applies if you have if you're doing the product of two binomials. That's it. You can't use it for anything else, but only if you're multiplying two binomials together. All right, so that's the end of this lesson.